Well, once again, I'm going to book another aspect of the upcoming Money in the Bank pay-per-view for the WWE, or at least what I would do with the booking. This is for my own amusement, but I'm going to try and keep doing this every month for my own stories for now, for at least as long as I'm amusing myself. Today, we're going to talk about both Money in the Bank matches themselves, both the women's and the men's, and how I would try and kind of build up these matches over the next month as we go to Money in the Bank. And it's a hard thing to do. The WWE just likes to have qualifying matches, and then those wrestlers would just probably have matches with each other, the ones that qualify for these Money in the Bank matches. So I would have to do a lot of that because I can't work miracles in a month of where the WWE is right now, especially with the women's division overall. I cannot work a miracle on that division in a month with my own little fantasy creative here. So I will say who I will have in the Money in the Bank match for the women, though. It would be Io Sky, Bayley, Mia Yim or Michin, Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Zoey Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Chelsea Green. I think having both Io Sky and Bayley in this match will continue to play on these dynamics between Io Sky and Bayley, where it does seem like Io Sky is on the verge of a babyface turn, which I think will be good. We saw her get into an argument with Asuka in Japanese on SmackDown last week. I would continue to take Io Sky and Bayley down that path. And I would have it where, like, every time Bayley and Io Sky are discussing the match and how Bayley is going to win the match, that would be what I would do. Like, every time Bayley and Io Sky are discussing the upcoming Money in the Bank match, I would have Bayley always say, how are we going to get me to win this match? You could, of course, have some tag team matches between Mia Yim and Zelina Vega as well, or just one-on-one matches with those four who are on SmackDown. Having both Becky Lynch and Zoey Stark in this match, I think, continues their feud as well, where Trish is concerned. You still just have Trish being the mentor to Zoey, trying to talk her up to win the Money in the Bank. I think the reason you have Chelsea Green in this match is because I think that's the only person right now you can maybe get a real TV storyline out of with her little Karen gimmick. I would have it where Raquel Rodriguez beats Sonya Deville to get in the match. And then I would have Chelsea Green be upset about it, be a Karen about it, to try and get Raquel kicked out of the match for being the biggest woman in the match and saying that Sonya Deville did not get a fair qualifier having to go up against Raquel Rodriguez. So I would have Chelsea Green be able to somehow be a Karen and talk Adam Pearce into making Raquel Rodriguez have a second qualifying match. Maybe we could actually get more of a babyface reaction out of Raquel Rodriguez by putting some of the odds against her with a Karen like Chelsea Green. The problem with a Chelsea Green is that she's so entertaining that it's hard not to be entertained by her as a Karen. So it could have the opposite effect here, but it's the only idea I came up with for the women right now. So basically, I would have where Chelsea Green has been complaining to Adam Pearce this whole time, really also trying to get Sonya Deville to get a second chance here, but he doesn't go for that. He does go for Raquel Rodriguez having to do a second qualifier, and Chelsea Green talks him into making it against someone bigger, like Valhalla, out of the Viking Raiders, and I would have Raquel win that and qualify again. Now, where the men are concerned, you get a little more stories out of this because it's not in as dire of straits as the women's division in the WWE is outside of some of their champions. They already had Ricochet qualify on the real WWE TV, so I don't know if I would have him in there, but I'm going to keep him in there for now. This is a ladder match. You kind of need some guys that do a lot of spots in the match. but I don't really have a story for Ricochet right now. And then with Braun Strowman injured, they're clearly going a whole new direction for Ricochet again as a single star without Braun Strowman. So, yeah. I would have AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley both qualify. They would probably be two of the biggest names in the match, I would say. So they can both get into it with each other or get into it with LA Knight, who also qualified on real WWE TV. I went back and forth of if I would have LA Knight qualify for this match, but you gotta finally do something with him because the WWE has refused to do anything with him on any of these big shows lately where the fans want to see him. I don't know if LA Knight winning the Money in the Bank is the best. Like, if they do have him win it, they could get a lot of good comedic stuff out of it, some good angles out of it. They've got to probably turn him more babyface, though. Right now, they still have him as a heel, and I guess, have to have him as a heel, too, because that's where the WWE is right now with me starting to come up with this fantasy booking. I think having LA Knight get into it with AJ and Lashley still won't work and turn him heel, but it is what it is. I would still have LA Knight probably get cheers against AJ Styles and Lashley like he did against Montez Ford when they had that qualifying match. But I think Montez Ford is an interesting one here. They had him lose a qualifier. I think the way to make this more interesting is have Dawkins qualify for the match. So Montez Ford did not qualify, but his tag team partner Dawkins did qualify, and maybe that could start some tension between the tag team, the Street Profits. I think it's inevitable that Montez is going to go solo, and hey, I think Dawkins could go good solo too. I don't know if I would do that right now because the tag division in the WWE is pretty weak too, just like the women's division. But I think tension for this tag team would be good. So I would have Dawkins qualify since Montez didn't. And you could kind of have Montez jealous of Dawkins throughout the month of June that he's getting this shot that Montez Ford is not getting. I would have Shinsuke Nakamura qualify for the Money in the Bank by defeating Riddick Moss. But 1 week on Raw, he is found in the back. Someone in a hoodie attacked him from behind, and it turns out Shinsuke has a worked concussion. We're doing a worked concussion angle with Nakamura, where he now is probably not going to be able to make it to Money in the Bank because somebody in a hoodie attacked him and actively tried to take him out of this match. I would have later in that 6/12 Raw episode, the hoodie would be found backstage and brought to Adam Pearce, and there would be a Prime logo on the hoodie. In the 6/19 Raw in Cleveland, Ohio native Logan Paul would be there, and he would admit to taking out Nakamura because all the spots in the Money in the Bank were filled up, and he wants to be in the Money in the Bank. Logan Paul was already pissed off that Adam Pearce did not set him up in the match. He calls Adam Pearce a joke of a boss. So Logan Paul went above Adam's head to somebody higher up to get a qualifying match against Riddick Moss, like Shinsuke Nakamura got. And of course, Logan Paul would defeat Riddick Moss in Cleveland to qualify for the Money in the Bank. Now there's still 2 spots open in the Money in the Bank match. And this is kind of where The Way comes up on Raw. They're putting The Way back together, an NXT group of the past. And the rumor is that Tommaso Ciampa is coming back as well. And of course, there's all this history between Ciampa and Gargano and Ciampa and The Way. So there would be tensions there, but I would have it where Ciampa is now trying to help The Way. Ciampa would tell them that he can show The Way the way. They, of course, don't trust him at all. But in Gargano's qualifier match against Dominic Mysterio, when Rhea Ripley takes out Candice and fights with Indy Hartwell as well, and Preston Finn Balor take out Dexter Lumis, Ciampa would come out and help fight off the Judgment Day, which also distracts Dominic Mysterio and gives Gargano the win to qualify for the Money in the Bank, also beating Dominic Mysterio So it seems as though Gargano and Ciampa can shake hands after that, and trust might be restored between these two old friends and old rivals, with Gargano qualifying for the Money in the Bank. And lastly, I would still have Cody Rhodes and his worked broken arm manage to qualify for the Money in the Bank. But a lot of Cody's focus is also still on Brock Lesnar, but Lesnar's not around right now. I would have Brock Lesnar send in a video saying that Cody needs to get a life. He made Cody feel the pain and knocked him out from pain. And Lesnar will say he proved he is better than Cody, whether Cody likes it or not. Of course, Cody would still say it's 1-1, and Cody's looking for a rematch. But right now, Cody isn't getting it. Cody says he is going to focus on the Money in the Bank and prove to Lesnar that despite the broken arm, Cody is still going strong. But he's not done with Lesnar, whether Lesnar likes it or not. So my qualifiers for the male Money in the Bank would be Dawkins, LA Knight, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, Logan Paul, who took out Shinsuke Nakamura, Cody Rhodes, Ricochet, and Johnny Gargano. I will book these matches for both the women and the men when I get to the actual Money in the Bank pay-per-view. That I will book the whole thing for fun. But those are my little ideas. It's a little hard because there's so many people involved in these matches. And I could honestly see why it's so easy for the WWE to be lazy when booking the Money in the Bank and just having every week probably the qualifying people being matches with each other. But there are some people you could get stories out of. I like tension between Dawkins and Montez Ford, with Montez Ford kind of being the villain in this, being the jealous guy to his partner. I like that you can have Logan Paul take out Shinsuke Nakamura, kind of set up something there for the future, while also having Logan Paul in the Money in the Bank, which I think you have Ricochet in there to be the spot guy. Logan Paul, he's good at spots too. And I also like having Ciampa trying to join the way, possibly making things up to Gargano. The Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar thing is hard right now. I don't know how you stall that to SummerSlam without having Cody in something like the Money in the Bank. But they also have the worked broken arm angle, so it's I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the Cody and Brock Lesnar story overall, but I'm going to finish it. But I'm not going to finish it until SummerSlam, like they probably aren't either.